Tell us about the bubble and what we can expect. So it's 22 games and then the playoffs. 50% are going to be televised, Cathy. I'm not saying that it's good that this happened, but this could actually continue the great momentum that you had with the WNBA, could actually bring it to a new level.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, part of this was to get more exposure for these elite women athletes and to move what I call the numerator up of the coverage of women's sports, because it's less than 5% of all sports that gets covered as women's sports. So we're doubling the amount of national TV windows. And I think there is so much momentum, Joe, as you said. But by the way, our top priority remains health and safety of our players, teams, and all the staff that are here. And you know, it is that the players are affectionately calling here at IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida, the wubble for the WNBA bubble. So it's been a fun, creative thing the players came up with that we've adopted unofficially. But, you know, really, the protocols were developed over the last few months since we came off our first virtual draft in April, and a lot of scenario planning. So a lot of my business experience coming in handy. And we decided we were going to play a 36 game per team season. We're doing a 22 game per team season. So I think we were going to take a month off for the Olympic break. So that actually allows us to get 22 games in this same footprint ending in October.
Yeah, I think it's exciting. No, we'll talk about the serious thing. For not a single case of COVID while people have been in the bubble at this point. So far, so good.
That's right. We've been fortunate because we know this virus is complicated. It's very unpredictable. We started with individual quarantining as players came into Florida. We then went to just team activities 4 days later. And now we're obviously starting some scrimmages this weekend and tipping the season off tomorrow at noon on ESPN. So very excited to get to this point tomorrow. It's been a Herculean effort and a big sacrifice by the players and the coaches and everyone to come to one single neutral site and follow the protocols. And
right.
So far, so good, but I don't want to jinx it.
Right, but you're pretty serious about it, too. I mean, if someone breaks the bubble, there's a problem, and you're watching that closely. I think Andrew wants in, Kath.
Hey, Cathy. The question I was going to ask is, how much does it cost to create the bubble, to maintain the testing, and to the extent there are lessons for other business leaders out there who may not be able to create a bubble the way you have, but if there's some kind of, I don't know, maybe can you create a quasi-bubble or some kind of hybrid version? Are there lessons from what you've experienced here that you think are applicable to the rest of us?
Yeah, I think, and I'm on the Partnership for New York City and have been listening to what business leaders there are doing in reopening their businesses. And I do think there are lessons here learned, but they're not different from the public service announcements you've been hearing around wearing masks and washing hands and not touching your face and temperature checks and symptom checks, because those are important too. Testing, hugely important. And I realize not everyone can do the testing we're doing here, but the temperature checks and the symptom checks and just making sure everybody's, following the protocols. Because one thing I've learned in the 3 weeks here is that if you follow the science, it works.